Good Friday morning, everyone. And I'm just adjusting my equipment here. As we say in the OTO. Anyway, it's Friday. It's been quite a week. As a matter of fact, today may be a tragically historic day. We don't know how it's unfolding. But we're talking about Enochian magic over the last few days. And yesterday I promised you that I would recite the 19th call to open up the very lowest of the Aethers for those of you who would like to use the recording of that as an aid to your meditation to break into the lowest of the Enochian heavens. But I wanted to do one thing before I do that, and that is to sort of explain to those who are particularly interested in the practical applications of Enochian magic, to sort of compare what Dee and Kelly, especially what Dee was trying to do with this Enochian magic technology. Dee truly wanted to spy for Queen Elizabeth. He was interested in geopolitical events, current geopolitical events. And he especially wanted to particularly know the spiritual rulership, what angel, what spirit, what governor rules specific parts of the earth. And he was especially interested in Europe, of course, because he was doing all of this for Queen Elizabeth. And this is where he started to receive information concerning the 91 parts of the earth. Now, as the earth is connected to the entire rest of the cosmos, these 91 parts of the earth are also intimately intertwined, braided into the cosmological universe as a whole. So in other words, even though we're talking about specific parts of the earth, those specific parts of the earth also have their being and their counterparts in the spiritual or etheric dimensions. So these 91 parts of the earth, Dee and Kelly were given the names of these parts of the earth, and then what the angels called these parts of the earth. And so they have two names. Not only that, but each of these 91 parts of the earth were assigned one of those squiggly sigils, one of those squiggly lines. And when those squiggly lines were projected upon the great table, which is like the four elemental tablets all put together, they spell out these names, these angelic names for the 91 parts of the earth. So theoretically, that would have given Dee access to, well, I want to find out what's going to happen in Poland. My friend in Poland, I want a vision of what's going on with my friend in Poland. Let me contact this angel, and here's his sigil. And it's found on the great table here, or it's found on the great table there. And we have Enochian calls that open up those sections. And we have that 19th call that opens up that entire Aether where that part of the earth lives. Now, this morning, just before I came on, I posted as my Facebook cover page a diagram of the elemental tablet of air. And in the lower right-hand corner is the subangle of fire. And within that subangle of fire, you'll see a darkened squiggly line that spells the name Kokarpt. Now, Kokarpt rules that portion of the earth that, at least in 1580 something, was the same thing as we would now call the Ukraine and the eastern Ukraine. And if we were in a position to do anything with this information or anything else, at least Dee's theory was contact that angel and see what the hell is going on, or what we can. It was intelligence information. Now, that's the 46th part of the earth that rules, and that was called something else in those days, but we know what it is now. And that is one of three governors. The names of one of three governors. Kokarpt is in the, which Aether is that? The 16th Aether, Leia. So that's pretty high, at least in the levels of consciousness associated with the 30 Aethers. That's pretty high on the scale. But the technology was such that Dee would open up the 16th Aether, contact Kokarpt, get a vision of that area, and then take that information to Elizabeth. Okay, that is our Enochian theory class for today. I promised you something far less dire, far less pressing, far less technical, and just open up for all of you who wish to attune yourself to the 30 Aethers. We would start at the lowest Aether, the one that's closest to us, a level of consciousness we probably bounce in and out of 1,000 times a day. Are you giggling in there, dear?
Yes. I'm bouncing.
She's in there bouncing, she says. Okay. And that is TEX. Okay, TEX is one of those Aethers, and I believe TEX is found on the water tablet, but the governors are found on the water tablets. TEX is so low as a level of consciousness. It's so low to the everyday sleepy waking consciousness that we're in right now that it's actually bumping into the waking consciousness. So I'm not afraid that I'm going to open up any wild things in you, because you're already bouncing around TEX. This is just sort of to focus. But all of the 30 Aethers are assigned 3 governors, and these governors, the names are these 91 parts of the earth. So each of the 30 Aethers has 3 governors, angels, personifications that represent facets of the Aether that can take form for you in a vision to actually give you somebody to talk to. Okay, they're abstract levels of intelligence. You know, they'll take whatever form you give them, and these are their names. But TEX is so low that it has 4 governors. TEX has 4 governors. All the rest of the Aethers have 3 governors. And the governors' names, drawn off of the elemental tablets, is Taogla, Gemnimd, Advorpt, and Dozanal. And they all have little squiggly lines, sigils to go with them. And if you're serious about digging into it, you sort of memorize those sigils or draw them on things during your preparation to scry TEX. But what I'm going to do this morning and is recite the 30th Aether with TEX in mind. There's only one word that's changed in the master invocation, the 19th call that opens up all of the Aethers. If you just change the one word in the opening sentence, it opens up TEX or re or bag or etc. Today we're only going to do TEX, and afterwards I'm going to just repeat the names of the 4 governors, so the name will be floating around your brain, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn it off, and that'll be it for today, because I want to sort of give us a clean ending to today's presentation, so that if you wish, you can replay this over and over and over again in your own private meditations. So, now, unlike Kabbalistic path workings or guided meditations, whatever you see, whatever goes through your mind is yours. There's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. Whatever it is, whether it's goofy, whether it's funny, whether it's nothing, it's yours. But because it's yours, it's important to you. So, here we go. And after I finish the call, I'm going to recite the governor's names. And that is Taogla, Gemnimd, Advorpt, and Dozanal. Are you ready? Just sit back. I'd close my eyes if I were you. Just take a deep breath. Madriax dies prof tex. Quis mi caols senir caosgo, od fifis balzestrasiada. Nonca gohulim, mikma adoyan mad. Yaod bliorb, soba uawana quis luciftias peripsal. Dies abresa nom sni taib caosgi ad tilb ad fat damplas, tuat noms gi mikal zoma, eras tafklo marb yari ido igo. Ad terzel piadaf gohol, caosga tabiord siner. Ad Christios il poil tiobel, Basdil tilm noan paidors bado doremnis el na. El zap tilb. Parmgi paripsax, Ota quels buapes el nibem ucho simp. Ad Christios agel torton merqueti oblelel. Ton pem dils mo aspion. Ad Christios agel torton paracas simp. Cordzis, Dod palod fifis el smena dod fartst bamsomawas kunisbra ua vavax tonug. Olska tibel noaz mi tabjes levithmong unchi dilbors baglei mua ol cordzis el capimao ix omaxip od kako kasab gosse baglen pi anta a Babeland od farcht tiluk vovim. Madriax torzu o adriax orocha abroapri tabiori priar zar tabas adre pancurs tedubix. Iolcam priasiar quasior od quas quiting. Repair pax sagacor umel od pridza kokoi oi ve compt. Torzu Zakar ad Zamran as psipsibud mona dies surzas tia baltan odo sikle que ad zazma plapli yad namad. Olvenu od zakam ilsge ta ogla. Taogla, taogla, odo sikleque taogla. Olvenud zakam ilsge gemnimb, gemnimb, gemnim, odo sikleque gemnimb. Olvenud zakam ilsge advorpt, advorpt, advorpt. Odo sikleque advorpt. Olvenud zakam ilsge da zinal, da zinal, da zinal. Odo sikleque da zinal.